Hello, everybody. Welcome. It is Wednesday, and this is our weekly community call. How are you? I am coming at you from Studio A. I've got a few different studios where I work with people and work, and I affectionately call this space Studio A. It's a beautiful day here in Chicago. We've got the window open. Let me shut it so that we don't have too much noise. Beautiful day in Chicago, some fresh air, that's always nice. So today, as you can tell, I am not at my computer and a desk with a PowerPoint. I am in the studio, and we are going to talk about at-home exercises, and I'm going to give you 10. I'm going to give you the first 10 exercises I take every client through. These are basic core and hip exercises, and it's something some clients move through these quicker than others. It depends on your ability, and it's always the base for which we start to work more strength in the rest of the body. So 10 basic exercises to do at home, and they are core, hip, back focused. So if you are following along, hit pause, go get your sweatpants on, grab maybe a drink, some water, grab a beverage. I've got a bubbly water. Just keep that nearby in case you need something to drink. Hit pause, put your sweatpants on, join me on the mat. Okay, we're gonna chat just a little bit before we get through these 10 exercises. We're going to go nice and slow. And actually, let me tell you a couple other things. These 10 exercises are so easy and fun to scale down or up. We won't get through that today. We'll likely hit that next week. But we want to at least introduce these 10 exercises, and then I'll teach you how to make them a little easier, a little harder, progress them, things like that. All right, next, I mentioned the core. The core, C-O-R-E, is many muscles. We've got abdominal muscles. You've got your upper abdominals, lower abdominals, your side abdominals called the obliques. You've got your back muscles, maybe your lats, your glutes, or I call them the buns, your buns. All of these muscles work together, and they're referred to as your core. Maybe you've heard of like doing planks, and you've heard of good exercises for your core. It's really about getting this midsection strong and stable. That way you've got a nice base to do movement, and then likewise reach up into the cabinet, bend down and pick up something off of the floor. So we want to work on our core. Let me make one other couple comments actually. First, when you do these exercises and they're a part of your routine, you'll get very good at them. You'll be strong, you can do advanced versions, you'll be able to do them. And then just like anything, say you don't do them for a few months, you'll go back and they'll become very hard. Meaning whatever you did in an advanced stage before you stopped, you maybe go back to that one particular exercise a few months from now, and it'll be hard. Say, let's use plank as an example. Let's say you work up to, gosh, I don't know, 60 or 90 seconds of a plank, and then maybe you don't do planks for 3 months. When you go back to do a plank, it's pretty natural that you'll do a plank, but it might be hard to do 60 seconds, or you might only be able to do 45. So the method, what we're talking about there is these are things you want to keep up with. You don't necessarily have to do all of them every day your whole life, but if you get away from them in your workout program every couple months, make sure you circle back and or keep a few of them in, just rotate all the time. Now, I mentioned if you take time off coming back to it, it'll be harder. You will be able to work that time up much quicker. So it'll be harder, but once you get back into it a week or two, you'll be right back up to that 90 seconds. So the message here is do some of these all the time, or don't take too long of a break before you get back to them. One other note, if you get injured, or I recently tweaked my back a little bit, and what happens is the muscles, based on pain and inflammation, sometimes the nerve signals to the muscles, if you're in pain, will cause the muscles to shut down, or it'll feel like they're weak. I can't do the exercises, when in reality, let's just say they're asleep. So pain, inflammation, injury causes the exercises to go to sleep. And then you should do them to what we call activate, or wake them up, and make sure everything is, all the different muscles are active, engaged, working, so you can go about your daily life without pain. All right, let me switch positions here. I'm going to tell you one more story, then we're going to get going. So make sure you've put your sweatpants on, you got something to drink. Think about these 10 exercises, and have you ever done any exercises like this before in your workout history? It's a great place to start. The story I'm going to tell you is, when a couple of years ago, when I personally worked out in a gym, I went to exercise classes. Anytime I attended classes where there was a lot of core work, abdominal work, I got very good at it, and it felt great. Like very, very strong with abdominal exercises, because that particular class emphasized it. We did a lot of it, and I showed up every week. So I was strong, I got good at it. But think about going to a gym if you don't have somebody giving you, all of these exercises in multiple sets. We don't always do them. Maybe we go over and sit on a ball and do a couple, some 2 sets of 10 crunches. Okay, great. But the level of variety and difficulty and the volume, how many you're doing, if you're not getting several minutes, we're talking 10, 15 minutes of this work in several times a week, we likely aren't going to do this much. So I do encourage you to think about getting your routine, a handful of these exercises, and making sure that you do them often. In my Kettlebell Express class, I program every class. We only have 40 minutes. And in that class, we always start with stretches, and then we do some of this activation and core work. So we're getting a good 10 minutes, maybe 15 every class. It's very important, and I feel passionate about making sure that I and the people I work with get a decent dose every session of not only stretching, but this core work. It's not going to be the whole workout. We have to go lift heavy things and work on our conditioning, but it's a part of every workout I do. So I guess the last part of this is perhaps it's 2021. In the last 2 years, when we've reevaluated our fitness, maybe we've left the gym, we do work at home, maybe we do classes, or you're getting educational content like this, feel like that's been an opportunity for us to revisit the good for you exercises. So that's what this is all about, is encouraging you to bring some of this back into your world. Okay, well, we are going to get to those 10 exercises, but I do like to stretch out just a little. We won't do a lot of stretching, but go ahead and lay on your back. First thing, our knees are going to be bent, our hands on the ground, head on the ground. Just the camera a little bit. We're just knees together, feet together. You don't have to be wearing shoes. I'm wearing shoes. You can be barefoot. Just rock your knees back and forth. Nice, gentle. we'll do about 20 of these, just nice and easy. Let's do 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's gently pull our knees to our chest. Then maybe work on one knee to your chest. So your other leg is straight. Pull that knee into your chest, head back. Good. Let's try the other knee. Good. Now let's go back to, we're going to get more of a twist. So let's bring our knees together. They're going to go all the way down. Maybe stretch our other arm out. You want your back flat. Switch sides. So your knees come over to one side. This is getting all along here. Good. Show you a different angle. Arms out to the side, knees up, over. You can even hold. Good. Bring them over to the other side. Oh, yeah. Stretches all along here. Breathe. Okay. Let's lay on our stomach. So with stretches, really don't like to, let's just hold right here. This is actually called the Sphinx. So toes are down, hips are down, elbows are under our shoulder. Can you tolerate without back pain just being here? If not, come all the way down and just come up here. Regarding numbers, you know, we're so rigid with all of our exercises. I really like to just breathe when you stretch. So 5 to 10 breaths ensures that you're breathing. It's also a little more intuitive and flowing versus hard 15 reps, things like that. I want warm up to be relaxing, getting in touch with your body. If you just tolerated the Sphinx pose, put your hands back here. We're going to do Cobra, 5 breaths. Breathe in, out. Come down. Breathe out. That's 2. Try not to shrug your shoulders. No shrugging. Get them down. Good. 2 more. If there's any pain, just lay on your stomach. Hold off. Last one. All right. Go ahead and grab a drink. We're going to get going on our first couple exercises. Okay. We don't want to get too technical, but when you talk about your abdominals, right, you do crunches, 6-pack abs. Those are these abdominals, your upper abdominals. Then you've probably heard of, somebody will say, flatten your back, contract your lower abdominals, set your lower abdominals, hold or your lower core. Just refer to lots of general things. We do want to show you how to stabilize or hold still the lower abdominals. Okay, your upper abdominals, those are your crunching muscles. Your lower abdominals are the muscles that hold you still when you go to lift, move things. They're the ones that have to contract so you don't hurt yourself. Likewise, when you do some lower abdominal exercises, which we will be doing, if you do not contract down here, your back will arch and you'll get back pain. So the very first exercises exercise 1 of 10 is going to be teaching you how to contract or set or hold your lower abdominals. Okay? All right, so pop on your back. In a way, it's as easy as just flattening your back, right? You're on your back. Maybe you can even feel that you have an arch. And then press your back flat. So that's great. But the problem here is you might also be pressing your back flat by contracting these muscles, these upper abdominals. So let's just explore this. It's an exercise, but this is really the first exercise is more education. It's not necessarily something you'll repeat and do every day. So here we go. All right, feel that arch in your back? Good. Okay, now go find your hip bones. Get your pants situated, feel your hip bones. Here's my hip bones. All right, now travel a little bit in, a little bit up. It's nice and mushy. Here's my bone. Just go in a couple fingers. It's nice and soft. Flesh, muscle, flesh. Okay, now you want to flatten your back. So work on flattening your back. Do not tense up here. You should feel some tension underneath your fingers. Okay. And then hold for 5 seconds. So you're scrunching down here, flattening your back, and feeling tension right here. 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax. And go. 2, 3, 4, 5, relax. Try not to have tension up here. You want to flatten your back, but without too much extra motion. You just want to flatten a little, tense right here. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. On your own, let's do 2 or 3 more. Ready? Tense. 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to do 2 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Poke around and you'll see down here is contracting. And here we go. Tense. 2, 3, 4, 5. If you've ever hurt your back or gotten an injury, that lower transverse abdominis muscle, your lower abs, it'll shut off. The pain and inflammation will cause the communication signal, the phone wire, whatever you want to call it, to get cut, and it'll be lazy, asleep. So you're going to want to contract it and do that basic exercise of squeezing 5 seconds for 5 to 10. Get that muscle awake and moving. Okay, we're going to come back to that, but I'm going to show you one more very beginning exercise. It's called pushers. This is really good for people if they struggle with doing crunches and maybe they're not a candidate for doing crunches. And this is an isometric exercise. I do start people here if they've not done any abdominal work. This is a great place to start. We are going to start with 10 seconds, nice and easy. It's what I call an isometric, which means you're holding, pushing without actively moving. I'll show you. So pushers, you're going to go on your back again. This is exercise number 2 of 10, pushers. Good. Now bring your feet and your knees up. Good. Now take your hands against your knees. If your neck cannot tolerate lifting, don't lift your neck, just push. If you can tolerate it, lift your chest, not your neck, lift your chest. Then we get our upper abdominals. Ready? And push. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whew. So your knees push back, your hands push this way. It's called a pusher. You're getting both upper abdominals and lower abdominals. It is very challenging. It's a beginner exercise, but it's very challenging. Let's try 15 seconds. You know what? I'm going to use my timer. Let's try 15 seconds. So I'm going to want to breathe and not count. All right, here we go, starting in 10 seconds. Ready? Knees up. Hands up. Here we go. Go. Breathe. Push, knees back. Hands push against your knees both ways. Breathe. Create tension. If your neck hurts, head down. Well done. All right. 15 seconds. Feel pretty good with that. I think we'll hold it there for exercise number 2. That was pushers. That's an isometric exercise. It's fantastic. I would always start at about 10 seconds, work up to 15, maybe 20. For that particular exercise, I wouldn't really go longer than 20, maybe 30. Your neck is going to be in kind of a tough position. There's really no benefit holding it longer than 20 to 30 seconds, just a couple of rounds. When we get to planks, you can certainly hold them much longer, but your neck is not in a tough position. So we don't want to cause any neck soreness. Okay, let's go back to, this is probably this is exercise number 3, but it's really would be maybe considered the first real exercise in a program. And if you've ever been through a back program, you've definitely heard of this. It's called dead bugs. And we're going to go back to that setting the lower abs or flattening the back piece. And then we're going to add something harder, which is moving your limbs. So let me show you. Also want to make sure that positioning, let me just make a note for all of these exercises. Let's get back down on our back. So raise your knees. Now, see how my legs are higher? Get them down to 90 degrees. Oh, knees are creeping this way. Get them out. And then your feet. I want your feet like this, not like that. So feet back, lower your heels. These knees come out. Okay. All right. Now, let's get into position. Knees up. And then we're going to put our arms up, just like this. This is dead bug. So feet down, knees out, hands up, head down. Okay, you could just start here. The exercise is one arm back, opposite leg down. Rest. I like to start people with 5 on each side. So it's only a count of 10. Then we work up to 10 each side and then 15 each side, which is a count of 30. You want to go slow. Take, maybe 1 or 2 sessions at 5, work up to 10s, then take a week or 2 before you work up to 30, which is 15 and 15. All right, one more note about dead bugs. And again, you want that nice 90 degrees. You're going to go back to that setting the lower abs. So let's do that again. Let's do that again. Knees up. Good. Lower. Now, push these knees out. That creates tension. Remember our little spot? Flatten that back, set your abs. There's tension right here. Hold, hold, hold. Arms, hold, hold, hold. Then lower. Good. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If you do not have some tension here, you will be arching your back. And that'll hurt. That'll be a strain. Love those dead bugs. Every client of mine gets dead bugs. You are doing dead bugs till the cows come home. We'll make them harder. I'll show you that next week. Everybody's doing dead bugs. They're really good for you. All right, let's move on. Oh, the other exercise everybody's doing is bridges. I'm going to show you. And again, we'll have a whole class on making bridges harder, easier, all that good stuff. But for today, we're just going to do a regular bridge. We're going to go back to that transverse abdomen, lower abs, transverse abs contraction. All right. We're going to take a drink break soon, but let's do this one. Feet down, knees are, they're not together, knees are hip width apart, so a few inches. Now remember that, pressing your back against the ground. Keep your upper body relaxed. Feel that tension. Look for it. Go poking around in the mushy part and make sure your abdominals are contracted. I know some of you are going to say, I can't feel my abdominals. There's too much mush. Funny. Just contract your abdominals. You can kind of tell, push a little harder, get in there. Make sure your abdominals are contracted. Okay? Right here. Get in the mush. Make it hard. Okay. Hands down. And now raise your hips and back down. 2. Let's go to 10. 3. Squeeze here. Push through your heels. Squeeze here. 4. 5. Right there. Squeeze those buns. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Okay, raise your hips, squeeze your buns. This is a fantastic exercise. Go slow. Now, if we don't flatten our back and contract our lower abs, then we end up arching. And all we're doing is arching our back. So we don't want to do that. We want nice, tight tummy. When I'm coaching people, I'll say tight tummy. That means this right here. I'll say tight tummy. That means right here. Make that tight. Then I'll say squeeze the buns. Here we go. Let's do 10 more. Tight tummy. Squeeze the buns. Six, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, grab a drink. Goodness, that was only 4. We have 6 more to go. Let's do a time check. All right. We're going to get moving here. We got about 15 minutes. You know, if you join this call live, with the time we have at the end of class, you'll be able to ask me questions, or I can view your technique. And I call it hot seat coaching, meaning it's a free coaching moment. You're on the call. When we've got 15, 20 minutes, sometimes more time at the end of call, it can all be for you. So if you're able to join during your lunch hour, the call is every Wednesday at noon. You can also email me. If you're watching this, then you get the emails. Email me if you want me to address a question. Just hit reply and say, Georgia, we talk about this. And then it's hot seat coaching on tape delay. All right, I'm going to tell you one more quick story, then we're going to get going. We've got one more important exercise, 2 hip exercises, and we're going to get to some planks, and we'll finish up. One more quick story while we're resting. I remember my mom, when I was a kid, she had this yoga mat, which not the kind they have now, like it's like an air, it's kind of like foam air, and it had all these exercises printed on the mat. And I'd come out, this is before I got into exercise. When I was a kid, I didn't know anything about this. I went outside and played. We didn't have health clubs. Like I didn't know what exercises were besides what we did in PE, but my mom would be out doing bridges. She's following all these exercises on her mat. She'd have the TV on and she's out there doing leg raises. And I'd be like, wow, look at my mom. She had this little routine she did every day. It's fantastic. So this is in honor of her. All right. Bird dog. Now we've got to get on our hands and knees. Hang with me next week when I talk about using different equipment. If being on your hands and knees is tough, I'm going to show you a way to do this on a physio ball. So hang with me now if this is hard for you. And getting on your hands and knees can be hard, but if you can tolerate it, here we go. Let's get on your hands and knees. Start here. So get your shoulders over your wrists, okay? And you're on your knees. Knees are about hip width. You can have a little space in between your knees. I'm looking up at the camera. I want your head down, shoulders over hands. Next, I want you to hook your toes. And what I mean by that is instead of this, let's do this. Okay, so here's a side view. Okay, now look, we need to be shoulders over toes. Nice flat back, push into your hands, right like this. Okay. Now, the first thing we're going to do is just practice raise one hand. Okay. Straighten your hand and out. Straighten and out. Now, don't lift. When you lift, you're going to be all off balance. Okay. Straighten and back. Straighten and back. All right, next, let's try the leg. Same thing. If you lift that leg, you're going to be off balance. Push that heel straight back. You know what? Let me go this way. Hook those toes. Now, back and in. Back. Squeeze that bun right there. In. Back and in. Try the other side. Back and in. Back and in. Try not to rock. You don't want to lift and you don't want to rock. All right. This is our 5th exercise, bird dog. We're going to combine arms and legs. Opposite arm with opposite leg. Push. Push. Ready? Go slow, 3 to 5. Let's stay on the same side. Let's just do one side. Ready? And go. 1, 2, 3, 3. All right, let's do the other side. When I'm starting people out, this is brain, mind, body work. When I start people out, we stay on the same side. Here we go. 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, one more set. 5 reps each side. So a total count of 10, and we're going to alternate. Okay, so we're going to go one side, other side, back to the first side, other side. 5 each, total count of 10. Ready? Here we go. Count to 10. Here we go. And go. 1, 2. Stay still. Don't rock. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whew. All right, here we go. Let's lie on our side. We've got 2 similar exercises. They're for your hips. I think this is really important. It's something that if your hips are pretty strong and you do a lot of leg work, you might be fine. I definitely put people through these beginning exercises until they master it, and then throw them in as kind of warm-ups here and there. For the first one really works better with a band, but we're not going to get into bands until next week. I will show you. Here's a nice band. That's a loop. They also have thicker fabric ones. So if you see these and want to work out at home, pick those up. I'll show you those next week. We're not going to get into that this week, but bands are great. So let's start. This one looks pretty easy. It's called a clam. We're going to lay on our side. You know what? I'll show you a couple angles. So we're going to lay on our side. You see how I've got a V? It's like a clam. I'll show you the other way. It's like a V. There we go. That's a great angle. I'll probably bring them back. There we go. Now, this works easier if you get all the way down. Try not to roll this way. That's not going to help. Get like this. Feet back a little bit more. Now, these stay together. Feet stay together. This opens. There we go. Let's try 10. 2, 3, 4. We're working this muscle. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's go to the other side. This exercise, it's pretty easy without a band. Go ahead. So if you do it right now and you're sore, then don't use a band. But bands come in different colors. Start light. Probably going to start you with 10 reps on this, not 5. It's fairly simple. We're going to work up to 15 or 20. Just a couple sets. Go with a light band. This is where you should feel it. Okay. All right, that's exercise number 6. Let's go to number 7. This is a Jane Fonda side leg raise. This is something that we really just do for a couple weeks, and then we incorporate the side leg raise into a side plank. So we make it more complicated, but good old-fashioned Jane Fonda, lay on your side. These are really good for us. All the way down. Usually bend the bottom knee just to provide sort of an anchor. Now, a note about your foot. When you raise your leg, no pointy toes. Pull that foot back and lead with your heel. Okay? Get your hips forward. Now, this top leg goes behind your knee just a bit. So just behind midline, lay down. And here we go. Let me change positions. Here we go. So my legs just behind midline, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Finish the 10. All right, switch sides. I'm going to try a different angle. Laying down, bottom knee bent, top leg straight. Again, don't roll forward, don't roll back. Be nice and stacked. Good. Put that foot out straight, slightly behind. Hang on if you need to. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. Whew, that was number 7. We got 3 more to go. Tell you what, we're just going to cover the next 3 planks quickly. I could do a whole hour on planks. So these last 3, we're just going to cover briefly. And then next week, we're going to stick with this group of 10. Not all 10 have progressions and regressions, but we'll do balls and bands and how to keep this group of 10 more fresh with different equipment, make it a little harder, a little easier, whatever you need. So we'll spend more time on the plank, but let's just get started. We'll just go through the last 3 exercises. We're going to start with a regular elbow plank. You're going to be on your elbows. One of the things you need to do with the plank is nice tall chest. You're going to squeeze those, I call these your wings. So when I'm coaching you and I say, squeeze those wings, get your shoulder blades down and back, work them. And then when you pop into the plank, tight tummy, no sagging. If you sag, it goes right into your shoulders. It's just really hard. Dig through your toes, squeeze your quads. All right, let's try 10 seconds. Elbow plank, pop down. 10 seconds. I'll give you a couple of different views. Let's do 1. Ready? So you start here. You got to dig those toes in. Bring your elbows back. Ready? And up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whew. Start out with 10 seconds. Get really good at 10 seconds. Create a lot of tension. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Make it a good 10 seconds. Then work up to 20, then 30. 1 more. Okay, first, no sagging hips. Up here. No piked hips. Right in the middle. No hanging heads. Get your head up. Squeeze your shoulder blades tight. All right. Nice plank. Next, we're going to move on to side plank. Hang with me. I'm going to do a regular side plank. Next week, I'm going to show you how to make all the planks easier or harder. But for today, I'm just going to show you a side plank. Now, number 1 mistake on a side plank. This arm is like out here. That hurts and is hard. Or you can't really do it too far in. It's got to be even. Squeeze that wing. Lift your hips. Okay, like but let's stack your feet. Arm here. We're only doing 10. Hand up. Lift. 6, 8, 9, 10. Whew. All right, 1 more. Other side. We're at 50 minutes. I'm tired. You tired? All right, here you go. Get the elbow under the shoulder. Okay, make sure your chest isn't forward or back. I'm gonna give you a different view. Ready? And up. There we go. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Really want to lift those hips and feel your hips lifting. Raise them up. That gets all of these muscles. And then, of course, you got to squeeze that wing. If you're saggy in the shoulder, it's just not going to work. It's going to be hard. All right, last one. It's called push-up plank. It's interesting. Elementary school kids really don't learn. They don't do or learn planks on their elbows. They all do them on their hands. So this is the beginning. In a way, it's actually a little easier than elbow plank. I think you've got less than ideal strength in the upper body. If you're just never lifted weights in your upper body and you're fairly weak upper body, this might be hard. I actually think it's easier than a regular plank until we add fun things like taps and holds, and we're not doing that today. All right, last one. Nice job. We've been at this, goodness, 50 minutes. Last one, 10th exercise, push-up plank. You're gonna be on your hands in a plank position. Get those fingers spread, tall chest, okay? Root your hands. Get your hands in, they're not lazy, they're not like, Nice wide fingers, give yourself a base, tall chest, root your hands. Ready? Breathe. All right, here we go. Here we go. Toes back. Feet about hip width apart. Get your shoulders over your hands. Good. No hanging heads. There we go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And down. Let me show you one more view. One more view. Here we go. 10 seconds. All right, here we go. And go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whew. Really nice job. It's 10 exercises, a lot of education, so it took longer. Normally start about 10 seconds on the holds. There's some philosophy that you should only ever do 10 seconds versus a 2-minute plank. Realistically, I like to move the plank from 10 seconds to 20 to 30. I do like to progress people to about a minute. Just shows me that strength and conditioning, they're at a particular level. But there is a philosophy out there that you train more reps in shorter time to create the right tension. Anyway, for all the holds, start at 10, go to 20, go to 30. And you'd probably want to work through, for holds, 3 to 5 sets. All of the repetition exercises, you're going to start at 5s, work up to 10s, and then 15s, and 1 to 3 sets. I would never do all 10 exercises in one class. Probably going to do 3, maybe 4, and group them and alternate. And then we get 2 to 3 sets in. Depends on time. We don't necessarily have time to do 3 sets of 15 of 4 exercises every class. Just mix and match. But that's, once you get all of these down, it's about 10 minutes of activation and core before you do regular work. All right, gosh, this has been a great hour, a lot of work. Nice job. Coming back next week, we're gonna just play around with taking bands and balls and advancing a few things. We won't go through all 10 again, but I'll take the exercises that we're going to advance and show you how to use different equipment and fill out your home gym, your home program, and get a healthy body. It's been great. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one.